Hi, welcome to the Hybrid Ministries Tech Forum. Sorry about the delay, had some technical difficulties today. I tried to load something new into the computer, new features for the Stream Deck, and just had it working this afternoon, and then it wasn't. So it's one of those things where you don't try anything new on show day. So welcome to episode 18 of the Hybrid Ministries Tech Forum, my birthday edition. If you're playing this back at a later time, welcome. If you're with us live on Zoom or YouTube, we'll take your questions and comments on our Discord. There's a category named Live Show with channels under it named Live Questions and Live Chat. We don't use Zoom's chat or Q&A feature except for giving you the link to join the Discord. If anybody hasn't done that, let me put that in there right now to everyone. All righty. And if you want to invite other people to join the show, you can find the Zoom and Discord registration information on our Facebook page. If you're with us live on Zoom, you can stick around after we're done and participate in the post-show. So live on Zoom, where we can have a casual conversation, Q&As with open microphones. And this is a growing and international and multi-faith community that is all of you and all of us, of course, representing congregations of all sizes and faiths at the technical level, and the levels that we're discussing. Denomination is really transparent. Doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, what your denomination is. We all want to communicate with our communities and do it as effectively as we can. And that's why we're here, to help each other up our game. And we're but just one in a related set of communities. There's a lot of other shows and events going on that you can tune into to learn about this stuff. Leo here on our panel hosts a show on Sunday afternoons at 3 o'clock Eastern time. It is very much like our show with a particular focus on Jewish worship. Leo, what do you got coming up?
Thank you, Marty. Can you give us all hosts before I explain?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So my show this week, we're covering a synagogue which at the beginning of lockdown had never, ever done a single bit of streaming and are now doing all of their services, have moved from 0 to 3 PTZ optic cameras and a mixer, and replaced everything and have people back in the room. They have a really nice piano and a professional pianist that they've mic'd up, and it sounds beautiful. So we're covering how they did that journey, and also we're covering Nooks, which are little computers that are pack a lot of power for their size. So those are the things that we're doing.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's fascinating. I'm going to be doing a live show this weekend myself. UU Church's first in-person service. It's going to be hopefully outdoors if the weather holds. And I'm bringing my PA system down there. They're setting up cameras to do streaming. It should be very interesting. We're getting into doing these kinds of things right now. It's coming back, and we're gonna make it work one way or the other. And there are other things. There are training opportunities that we have on Monday afternoons at 3 o'clock. Mark Plukas here does an audio training session that is weekly, and Joanna has been offering Audacity training. So look for those on our Discord. And, and it's these kinds of interactive engagement opportunities on the Discord during our post-show and training classes and all these other shows really makes these communities work. Pre-COVID, trying to find engineers and AV tech volunteers from other churches was really a challenge. Maybe you get on the phone and who's doing this for your church, or you'd have to go and visit to meet people. But now we've got all these communities. All of us have joined these communities online. It's really a cool thing. So before we get to it, I want to thank our panelists today, Joanna Lovell in Pennsylvania, who may not be here. She's not here. Jay Paul's in Maryland. Mark Plukas is in Massachusetts. Leo Mindell is in London. Crystal Vakes is in Florida. And let's see. And if there's anybody that I missed, because there are people who come and go on our panel, you know, if you want to serve on our panel, if you are the kind of person who does tech at your church and you're good at it and you have something that you want to share with us, all you have to do to get on the panel here is arrive a bit early, like between 6 and 6:30 on Thursdays, and just come on in. And, you know, if there's anybody else that you think would be interested, by all means, invite them. So throughout the show, the attendees' microphones are muted and until the post-show. And if you want to ask questions, please put them in the Discord in the appropriate channel. So speaking of Q&A, here's where I get to ask all of you a question, because it's time for the question of the day. So here it goes. Music performance plays a really important role in our services and in our lives. Many of our congregations are blessed with talented musicians. Some congregations hire musicians to play for us. And we want to both respect them and provide them with an environment that they want to play in, right? So I'm sure that we've all experienced both excellent and terrible sound at movies and concerts and other places. And, you know, we can hear the difference. Sometimes it's even subconscious, but it affects us. So more important is the fact that a really inspiring song, the effect it can have on us, our emotions, even our bodies, a great sound system. And I'm not talking about chest thumping, volume levels, but the kind of wash that comes over you when you hear a really great song performed really well on a good sound system that's mixed well, it's not too loud, it's full, it's rich, it's got space and depth. I mean, it's really inspiring, right? It's what moves us in church. So I know it's been 15 months or so since many of us have been in our sanctuaries, or the movies, or a concert for that matter. So I'm going to ask you to call on your memory. And here's the question for you. Have the sound system and the audio team's training been sufficient to provide the desired impact of music performance in your services and concerts? Right? So have they been sufficient to provide the impact, the desired impact on you when you're sitting in your sanctuaries? So there's a channel under live show called Question of the Day, and the question is repeated there so you can see it. So I'm really excited about today's show because my birthday gift from my wonderful group of panelists gave me kind of the week off from having to program the show. And Crystal has manned the helm all week long with her co-pilot, Leo. I've been watching the messages flying back and forth, and I'm just borrowing the helm for a couple of minutes, but she and the rest of the crew and all of you can now be part of her crew to go on this journey with her that she is going to take us on all of this free stuff that we can use in our video performances, in our video webcasts, to spiff it up, make it look great. So I am going to sit back, pop a cherry, have a little drink, sit back. Take it away, Captain.
All right. You make me sound like I'm about to run a pirate ship up in here, but I'm not. This is all completely legit, and it's all free or at least low cost. So there's a lot of stuff to cover. I'm going to recommend strongly, if you want to have any of these resources, get yourself a pen and a notebook right now. I hate looking at myself, so I'm going to quit looking at this screen. I apologize. My other screen's over here, so I'm going to start watching that. Pardon the weird. Can I have co-hosts? Good. Yes. Ha 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 ha. So you can see my screen, because I'm sure you want to. We're just going to take the whole darn screen. I'm going to move this bar over there. That works. Yeah. Let's do that. I think so. I should have moved that over there. Okay, that's my bad. There we go. Now we've got it. Hopefully. We'll see if my computer screams and falls over. Nope, looks like we're okay. Good. Awesome. Alrighty then. So minimizing everything because I got too much stuff. Way too much stuff. All right. Yeah, I got like a whole bunch of things open, so I apologize. Anyway.
What we're seeing is the run of show.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just gonna drag that to another screen. So there we go. Okay, so first off, if you were here for the last time I did free stuff, I did a kind of a talk on Creative Commons. The major reason I'm kind of coming back to this is because I haven't had a chance to update the resource site. I apologize for that, life happens. So what we're gonna do, as opposed to worrying about resource sites, we're gonna continue to do maybe some free shows. So again, grab a notebook, grab a pen, strap in. It's gonna be a lot of stuff really fast. So Creative Commons is turning 20. Again, if you like looking for images, music, things like that, you're looking for stuff in Creative Commons, hit the Creative Commons site. It's going to be your best guide. If you're interested in trying to figure out about licensing, because we had some questions on that, again, it's all on the site. Hit the site. It's your guide. It'll tell you everything you need to know. The major reason I bring this up is because with Creative Commons turning 20, they're doing some fundraising, which is great, but they're also looking at retooling some of the licenses and making information easier to find. So this is going to be a real big push for the next kind of chunk of time for Creative Commons. So very, very important. And I highly recommend it. And what the hell? Okay, get out of my way. My screen is not cooperating with me. I had to take one of them out of the array, so I'm down a screen and it's pissing me off. I need 3. I really do. Okay, so the next thing we've got is if you're looking to edit photos on the fly and say you don't have Photoshop and you don't want to invest an arm and a leg and all that, what you can do next is we have this wonderful app called PZAP. And I shouldn't say it's wonderful. It's not bad. PZAP is really basic. It's going to have some really simple formatting that you can come in and, you know, try their little templates and change some things here and there. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. You know, it's enough. It will get you in a way. And it's got like a handful of fonts that you can choose from if you don't like what they put in there, or you can do completely new stuff. But the big thing I find PZAP to be useful for, frankly, as far as creating new meme or new images, is to use memes. It's really good for memes. There's tons and tons. So memes. So of course now it's going to act weird and not play nice with me. Darn it. See, okay, fine. I see how it is. We're gonna have to do this. There we go, free stock images. See, memes galore. So if you were thinking about making a meme to share with whatever team you happen to be working with, especially like your tech team, this is a great place to be, because you can have your corporate cat and what have you. Well, okay, that one's a pro picture. Really? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to take some points off for that one right there, because I didn't try to do corporate cat. I was doing the mark safe from things that are meetings, because I think we can all relate to that. But putting corporate cat in there as a paid feature, no. Okay, so you're fired, PZAP. Get off my screen. Next up, Pixlr. And Pixlr, I really, really like. I use the heck out of this one. Pixlr X, there's 2 versions. There's X and then there's E. X gives you like this really quick photo editing, and it's going to have some really good templates in it. E gives you, or I should say more like template designer is more X. E is more Photoshop-y touch-up kind of stuff. And I'll show you here in a minute. So like this is, I had to do flower service here recently. So I did like some photos of people with their names, and obviously Rob was, You know, they didn't send in a photo, so I had to put a flower in there with Rob's name on it. If you're familiar, he's one of our panelists, and he's usually here. And then there were other people, and like I didn't have a photo of me with a flower, so I shooped in a rose. And that's a thing. You know, we had other people who didn't have flowers, so we did that. It's really simple. Like I said, there's a bunch of templates in here, which is really nice. So you can check all kinds of things out. Some of these are free, and if you can see the little crown up here, that indicates which one's a paid. The free is like this one. You can just come on in here. The nice thing about this is if you want to like change this out, you don't like the background, you can add in a new background. Actually, I'm going to back that out because I like the background. I just wanted to grab this photo and kind of snag that. We're going to unlock that. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is to, actually, I normally would say I want a new layer. Yeah. No. Forget that. We'll just go ahead and add an image. I'm going to use a stock image. And hey, it's this dude sitting up there. So we're going to add this to the current as a layer. And of course, it's too big. So, and of course, my controls are off the honking screen too. So that's never good. There we go. I probably should have done some prefab ones, but you get the idea. Anyway, make this smaller and smaller so it's not quite so embiggened. And you plug that in, and then you pull this to the front. And if that's in the wrong darn place, which it is, you just drag the layer. So the layers are all pretty straightforward. If you've ever used Photoshop, this is pretty standard stuff. So, and you can move everything around. For completely free, it's not terrible. It's, again, the paid version is better, obviously. It won't break the bank on you. It's not horrible, but I use a lot of the free. And the nice thing about this is it does back up onto several of the royalty-free sites. So you can grab royalty-free photos. Again, keep an eye for anything that's got a crown on it, because that's not going to be available for free. But these are all stock images in this particular search. So there's that. All right, so we're going to drop back out to the Pixlr homepage. Pixlr, and then we're going to jump into E. And E is great for when you've got those days when maybe you just don't particularly care for how you're looking. Yeah, like here's a photo of me, and I'm all wrinkly here in the corner, and I don't like that so much. So we're going to go in there and do a little get rid of that. Maybe.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
like that.
well, that's the point. I mean, you can like get rid of the wrinkles and what have you. I have ridiculous amounts of goofy hoodies. But you can do all kinds of other things, like you can erase things out of the background, like if you want to just get rid of this. You can also add in a transparent background behind that, so when you erase, it'll kill things in the background. You can take, obviously, temperatures and edit these colors. There's a lot to this one that is really nice. Obviously, liquefy, cloning, bokeh, dodging and burning, which if you've ever done photography, any type of darkroom development, you understand the concept of dodging and burning. Dodging is where you kind of put your hand over the when you're developing a photo, you block the light so it stays fairly light, and burning is where you let the light penetrate extra. So you get more saturation. So less saturation, more saturation concept. You can add in pen, drawn, you can sponge in things. You can cause things to pixelate out. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. Color replacing, add shapes. I believe there was a brush in the paid version tool, which I didn't see because I don't have paid anymore. But it'll also give you an idea of the color palettes, which is the other thing I really like this for. If you like drop the, I use it for this actually quite a bit. Use the drop tool to kind of get an idea of what photos, like maybe you want to put some text in a photo and you want something that's complementary, but you don't know quite what colors work with it. Just use your little eyedropper tool. and pop it into the photo and kind of pick up a complementary color, and it'll tell you what the complementary colors are on the color wheel. So that makes it really, really easy to then grab some text and, got that color that are down here that are complementary. So you get the idea. Anyway, that's that. Where am I at? Okay, 26, not too bad. So if you don't like that, if that's too simple for you, there are other things that you can do, and Leo's going to take over from me right now and show you another option. So let me drop off.
Thank you, Crystal.
Sorry, I'm just rambling.
It's all right. It's okay. We don't mind. We don't mind. Right. Why am I not spotlighting? I should be there. Spotlight for everyone. There you go. There's me. Okay, so I'm going to start talking, before I talk about an individual piece of software, I'm going to talk about Appsumo and why Appsumo is important, or for me, I've used it a huge amount. So Appsumo, and I am on the site here, so this is it, is a site that enables you to get software, not for free, but for lifetime deals. Everything on Appsumo is about a lifetime deal. So as you'll see, the ones that are coming up, they're all coming up as lifetime deals. Why do the suppliers of this software do this? What they do is that when they come out with a new application, they want to find two things. They want high traction so they can get lots of people using it, and they want those high traction people to give them feedback. So they will produce typically a reduced set of features. It doesn't mean to say it's not fully operational, it is, but you'll find that it has some limitations in certain areas so you can get their software. So a classic example of this, although I don't have the Appsumo deal for it, was Restream, which we may have talked about before, but we will talk at one time or another, which is an application that enables you to stream your services from one source, e.g. OBS, or from Zoom, and send it to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, etc., all in one go. And they had an Appsumo deal about 2 years ago, and you could buy multiples of it. You could use it for life for as many as the multiples you bought. So you could use it for 20 different locations. However, it always had a brand on it that says, when in details, it always says powered by Appsumo. Powered by Restream. So some of the things that I've bought on Appsumo. So this is my login, and I can just see the products that I've bought here. So there's a lot of things that I've bought here. OneStream Live, which is a ability I just mentioned about Restream. OneStream Live does exactly the same. It allows you to store your videos and then send them out so they pretend to be live. Relay that, which I'm going to cover in a minute. Flixer, which is a video editor for you to do on cloud editing of videos, and Relay that, as I mentioned. And then Live Webinar I've used a lot of times. It links with Hey Summit. So Hey Summit, I've got 1,000 user license, so I can run a summit for 1,000 users, and it was pretty cheap. ClearOut was a software to do to take your mail lists and clean them up, and that's about it. And the last one is Crisp. Crisp is you may have seen this. This is a great utility to you put it on, and even if you're in a car, it just cleans up the audio. So it's that there is always deals coming from Appsumo. Typically you are looking, if we just have a look what you'll find. Now it's gone slow. The site's gone slow. A lot of it is also to do with WordPress. You'll get plugins for WordPress, but it's a really nice site. There is another one that I'm going to pass back to Crystal. And Crystal's going to tell you about a very similar one to this, to Appsumo. She's got it. What's it called, Crystal?
We've completely jumped. Anyway,
Oh, I was gonna. Sorry, I didn't know. I thought
it's all good. I got it.
What's the other platform that you use that's similar to
The other one
Appsumo?
I use is Dealify, which I actually was going to mention.
Okay, I just thought you were going to mention it. I know you were going to mention it. I'm saying you're going to mention it later. Did you want me to do another one, or did you want to carry on?
Nope, we can keep going. Although it would make sense to fit in Relay That right about now.
Okay, great. Perfect.
If you don't mind.
I can do that now. Right. So one of the first ones that I got off Appsumo was Relay That. So Relay That is a very similar to the other graphics packages. The thing with Relay That is it enables you to create graphics that are particularly for social media. So I'm going to open up a brand here. I'm going to start a brand new one here. It's going to create the workspace, and it's going to literally you start with a very straightforward thing here. So I'm going to upload a picture. I'm going to see if I can. This is where you make sure that you bringing up a picture that you're not going to get into trouble about. So that's a picture of me. This should be a picture of me. It's just going to upload it. There we go. Right, so it's got a picture of me in there. And then I'm going to say, so what you do is then you can just put in the text of the information you want to say. If anybody mentions about my spelling, I don't care. And then what it actually enables you to do is you start with something like this. If I just move that picture of me slightly over, I can move it over. I can bring it up, make it slightly larger so it sort of sits in. And then I can sit there and go, right, so that's the face. So this gives me a standard look, a square post. That is what that exact same thing will be as a Facebook cover. This is for Pinterest. And you go through and you've got all of these sizes that you can do the layouts where you can go social, and you can say, well, I want to do something for Twitter. Although I don't remember the last time I ever saw a Twitter header. And it takes the same pictures, the same images. So obviously we know that I'm somewhere over there because I was. And you can bring it in. And you can also, let me just click on it so I can bring it to there. And then I can also, just like Crystal did on the last thing, I can fade it out. I can smooth it out, desaturate it, saturate it, sepia. If anybody's interested, that building that I'm behind is actually when I did my apprenticeship at Thorney MI, I went back there to get my vaccine a couple of weeks ago. That is the Emi Record Center, record factory, the vinyl factory at Thorney MI. So lots of albums that you would have bought were printed and made there. So you can do all of these layouts. And as you can see, it gives you a huge amount. So once you decide that you like that layout, you can then go back and choose a section that matches the layouts that you want to do, but in different sizes. So it's a massively useful tool. You can also create printed versions as well. I've never really used the printed versions myself, but you can see, and you can keep, and you can bring in other pictures. So last thing I'll just go back to is I will go back to home, and I'll look that I've actually got different designs. So I did for my equivalent of Hybrid Ministries. These are the designs for each of the individual episodes. As you can see, they all have a similar look and feel. If I go further back, I can look at various other things that I've done for other events. And somewhere in here, if I can find them, I've got my events for, it should be under here. I've got other events and other things where I've done different layouts and everything. And you can take something like this. This is a really good one, this layout, because you can actually just change. It's really easy to change and add the photos, and you can put a 3-up picture into there. So I can put myself in that one. Should, in theory, if I've got the right one. There you go. So then I bring myself in, double click on myself. It's not gone in. That's it. There we go. Bring it up. move it across, and you've got a 3-up picture of three people in an event. Really nice and easy to do without having to spend hours and hours and hours learning how to do something. How's that? Is that okay, Crystal?
That is fabulous. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and roll with this. Switching back now. I'm gonna dig everything out. I really do need that third screen back in the array. That's terrible. Anyway. Alrighty then, off we go, folks. So this one is a little different. While that one's really cool, everybody's got their favorite tools. This one's called Canva. And it's a really neat tool. It's much like what he was just showing you. It's just kind of another version of it. The major reason we tend to use this is because if you have a 501c3 designation, you can get this for free. So I highly recommend getting your designation if you can. I think it's $600 to file through the federal government. If you don't already have it, like if you have the blanket one from your church organization, you can get the 501c3. It takes a hot minute, though, so be warned. Anyway, once you get that, you can have get this for free, which is fantastic. It has some really great options in terms of things you can do. Like this is a photo of our church, so we keep this out there in case we need to, or at least one photo of our church, which actually was designed by one of the students of Frank Lloyd Wright. So it's pretty cool. And you know, that way we can add like text to it or change elements on it, which is really fun. They have a lot of stock stuff, which is neat, but at the same time, you don't have to use any of those. You can just add in like a heading here. So let's see, select everything here. We want you to join us. Oh, don't do that. Select everything. And Montserrat tends to be our base form, but we have a lot of different other scripts that we might use at times, like Kaushan's script. And I'm not real fond of that size, so we're going to go on ahead and go up to about 75 because it's enormous. All right, and for color, we're going to do something a little more eye-catching and punchy. I'm going to grab, let's see. Oh, that purple kind of jumped. Although the blue is what we do tend to use. So using that. Another thing you can do is throw in text or effects for your text, which is very interesting and eye-catching sometimes, and sometimes it's a complete dumpster fire. The whole point is to just do something fun and interesting and see if you can get people's attention or just have fun. I find Canva to be a lot of almost kind of a real chill experience in terms of photo editing because it's pretty simple. You know, like you can move things up here, down, around. You can turn them around if you want to, like I was showing earlier. Not that I'm actually doing this for any stretch of the imagination, or if you don't want to do actual sizing like that, you can actually just resize it. And it does resample, which is the nice thing about that. So you don't have to worry about kerning and all the other stuff and anti-aliasing when it starts to get into crazy stuff with fonts. This is really good for like a vaporwave theme, by the way. If you're ever doing anything vaporwave, if you know what that is. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. I think 80s music and big hair. You'll have it about right. Anyway, say you don't like, for whatever reason, you kind of go, oh, that maybe that's not the background we want. We want something more interesting. We're going to put in a city. We're going to do some vaporwave. Really do it crazy. Go off with that aesthetic. So that's a real simple way to do that. And again, if that's too busy, you can also come in here and do something very simple, like a color or a pattern. It's all really straightforward. The other thing I think is really, really nice about it is that this templates are excellent and very easily indexed. So say we've got Father's Day coming up right now. We can do Father's Day canvas prints, cards. You can actually print from this site, which is kind of nice. You can do Facebook stories for it. Yeah. And here's a thank you. All right. I'm actually just going to delete that whole darn thing. Or at least I should have. There we go. Okay. Took a minute. And you're the greatest if you wanted to do that. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. There's a lot of different things you can do, and it's all pretty straightforward. So, like if you wanted to change your text, stop that. So let's see, we have a group called Playing with Ideas that likes to meet over Zoom. So you can get, just change in things like that. Delete text, add text. You can change in your URLs for their URLs. Again, very, very similar to what Leo is doing. All pretty straightforward. Move it around. Embiggen it if it's too small for you to read, or edit for that matter. So there you go. And if you don't like that photo for whatever reason, you want to put another photo in. Although I like that one of the things Canva does is sometimes it'll put in those little placeholders just in case for whatever reason you forget to replace something. Let's see. One of the things we like to do is talk over coffee. So that's fine. There we go. This is great. This is a pro photo, but you get the idea. And as soon as I move that over that spot, it just automatically drops it in. I don't even have to screw with the layers on this, which is another thing I really like about Canva. So that's kind of an idea of one of the things. And for something you can get completely for free for a 501c3, totally worth doing. So there's that. Now, if for whatever reason you want to go, what?
I was going to say something about Canva. Are you still on Canva? Or are you going to go off Canva?
I'm still on Canva, but you can by all means interject. Please, by all means.
I was only going to say about videos, and that was all. If you were going to cover videos, then go for it.
No, go on ahead, take it, because I haven't played with the video editor much.
Okay, so the one thing that Canva does, there's two things that it does really well as well. It will create anything and animate it, and the video side of it is absolutely unbelievable. So if you click on video, and this is how simple it is, and you're doing this, it's so good I can do this without even touching my keyboard because it's all crystal.
Well, let me. I was gonna say.
Exactly. So if you just take any of these ones, let's just take that birthday video there. That's great.
Or that one.
I'll do.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I saw a Doge. I love dogs.
Yeah, that's it. Just take it. Take that's the one. Choose that template. That birthday video with a doggy.
I was
not gonna.
There's the one with the kid.
Okay, that's fine. Right, no problem, no problem. So what you can do is you can press the play button at the top right where it says 5 seconds.
Yep.
And press play. And it'll show you how it animates it. And all you do is you make the changes that you want to do by putting in the pictures. So this one's a bit difficult because you need a picture if you wanted to do a picture that's relevant. And it will just animate the video for you. So you go back, close that down, close that, maybe choose another template that's that won't need a person in it so much.
Like well, no, that's that
one. Well, take the one to the right of that.
That
one. There you go. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so
just choose that, and then just make a quick change on it. So just change from Big Sister to something else, somebody else, or something. So you can see that it should be okay.
No.
Marty, that's it. Perfect.
Except he's not a sister.
It's good enough. It's good enough. Okay, fine. There you go. Now, if you now press the animation, the 9.2 seconds, you'll see how it will animate it. And if you think that's fine, all you then do is you close that. And then you want to click on the download. But there are two choices here. As well as doing MP4 video for people, you will see, if you open that up, you will find a GIF option. So you can create a animated GIF. Click on download. And as long as this is going to work.
Yeah, it's downloading down here in the very right.
As long as we can open something up on Crystal's machine without
oh dude
affecting
dude, that was not cool.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. We could be exposing the world to.
Yeah, let's not do that and say we did.
Okay. It should. You can see that
it's also taking a hot darn minute to do.
Yeah, it will do. It will do because it's creating this. Because there's quite a lot of animation in this one. It's probably too much animation, if anything, in this video to see. But you can see the point. You can create very simple animated GIFs that you can utilize in your communication in other areas. It depends how long this one will be. Interesting to see if this one opens and see if it without actually having to, if it plays. There you go.
Hurry up and wait.
10 seconds.
Make a really fancy order of service.
A really fancy order service, yeah.
Anticipation.
Yeah, thank you.
You can tell who the Rocky nerds are.
Yeah, you can. Right, so I have seen this. It'll also add music and everything. I've seen this being used incredibly well for various different things. And that's it. That was what I was going to do about videos.
All right.
So where's the GIF?
Oh,
I'm trying to pull that up so that
it's down
on
there.
the other screen. And it's launching in IE because my computer hates me.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Well, you can see it's an animated GIF.
There you go, Marty.
Oh, thank you.
Out of interest, Crystal, how big?
Huh?
How many megabytes is that animated GIF? Probably over the 4 meg. Does it tell you size?
No, 1.51.
That's all right. 1.51 is allowed on certain. You can put that into. Or you can put that into something like a WhatsApp, and it will play.
Yeah.
If you go over about 2 meg, it won't play.
Yeah, you can get away with an email up to, I think it's 25 most of the time on.
But there you go.
So that's Canva. Like I said, I don't play with the video stuff much, but I also, now that I know a little bit more about that, thank you very much, Leo. I might.
Pausing there for a moment, Keith Miller is asking, what's the difference between GIF and other video formats?
Well,
that's really, yeah.
Sorry.
So
go ahead.
first of all, I'd like to just comment on the fact that we've all pronounced it correctly, which is actually the biggest single thing in this.
No.
And it's not. It's GIF.
It's GIF.
And so the format had gone up. The format had actually gone completely out of. Nobody was interested in it, and it's come back to life mainly because it can create. Somewhere around about 15 slide animations, that sort of size, to do something that you would use. It has no sound included in a GIF, and it's designed for something simple and animated on there. The other thing that's really useful for GIFs are inherently have transparent backgrounds, or can have transparent backgrounds. So you can put a GIF up on the screen on your site, and I'll show you a Gif Maker if we have time later on.
We can do that now. I'm going to go on ahead and if you want to.
Okay, let me do that quickly. Thank you. So I'll go very quickly to this. This is a Gif Maker. You may have to, can you spotlight me in there? So the Gif Maker is easygif.com. This is a great site for creating GIFs. So what I've done is I'll bring in some GIFs that I've got from here. Behind every kick, I've got some. So I created 3 individual images, and they are all these 3 individual images. I'll bring them in so you can see them and upload them. They are full screen. They are at the moment, all you can't really see them, but they are 3 little logos on a transparent background. So I'll make a GIF with them. So you'll see them, they look like that. As you can see, they're flying around. They're obviously completely unusable, but you can see that they're 3 logos sitting on top. So what I then do with them is I first of all, I crossfade the frames. This is all easy to do. So I'm going to say, put in 20 frames. No, sorry. It's going to be 6, 6 and 20. I'll get the right way around. And I say, make the GIF again. And now what you'll see, it's going to take a little bit longer to create this. Obviously, I knew that I tried to get Nando's yesterday and I couldn't buy any. Anyway, so now you'll see that they're now animating, but they are animating a lot slower, and they're going and they're dissolving between them. So finally, what I do is I normally put this at 2,000 seconds, which is 2,000 milliseconds, which is 20 seconds. I'm just going to put it up to I'm going to put it up to 200. So you'll see it in a, you'll see it there. Make the GIF, and now you'll see that this GIF sits here, and it translates between the 3 animated areas. So I'm now going to save that. I've saved that GIF. I'm using Ecamm for my video at the moment, and I am going to try and add that as an overlay on top of me. Actually, I'll show you what I'll show you so you can actually see. No, I can't do that from here. Downloads, put it open there. And fingers crossed, you now should see it in the top right hand corner. If I now go back to big screen me, I'm in the wrong one. Hold on, I've got to add it in there. I didn't add it in the right layer. Right, you should now see that in the top right hand corner of me. And if you watched, it is animating in real time. Do you like that?
Ooh,
Do you like that?
I do. It's fabulous.
Wicked awesome.
There you go. So if you imagine I normally animate that with 20 seconds per thing. So it sits there for 20 seconds. So it looks a lot slower because obviously this is a bit too fast. But I've now created a bug on my videos that are animating. And if you imagine it at 20 seconds per each one, it really doesn't look like something that's annoying.
Yes.
So you said that these could be transparent too. So that white background could be transparent.
So actually, the whole thing is a full screen transparency, but because these logos in particular didn't fit nicely, because I put a lozenge around the back just to make it so that they would match up, because if you have them without matching up, they bleed into the background and it doesn't look nice. So it's just, I used the lozenge. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. And that's all free.
Very cool.
That's all free.
Cool.
I will pass you back.
All right. So the next thing we have, this one is a lot more, if you are absolutely used to Photoshop, and you're not scared of photo editing and what have you in a more powerful fashion, and especially if you use a lot of brushes, this is the new image manipulation program, aka GIMP. This is actually 25 years old now. So this is a piece of free software that has been in the system forever. Again, everybody's got their own way of doing things. I don't use a lot of GIMP. I'm going to be very honest with you, because I find it a little too clunky for what I'm doing. And most of the time I just need to do things fast. And also I'm not a graphic designer. We have a communications director at my church, and I love her. And I thank her every week for being awesome and doing all that stuff, so I don't have to do it. Most I have to do is like slam together some video and stuff. She does all the really creative, cool stuff. So I will admit that is not my particular milieu, shall we say. So we're going to go on ahead and just grab something. I'm going to grab it on the other screen because you don't need to see my file structure. And we're just going to be silly because I love memes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with this, it's called the Untitled Goose Game, and this goose pops up everywhere because it is a wonderful day in the village, and this is a horrible goose. And I'm sure you've seen the two ladies yelling at people meme. But if you wanted to, say, color this particular person a different color, you can do fills and all kinds of other things, much like Photoshop. We have the airbrush tool. This is going to allow you to paint over things. And of course, it is not doing it for me right now because I got way too dang much open, and this is a memory suck. And I will tell you that straight up. My machine does not like GIMP very much. Yeah, you can see it finally rendered that in. It's just kind of barely there. Yeah, it does not like my machine at all. Also, I have like a billion things open in the background, so that doesn't help either. But there's text, paths, warp, transform, rotate. The major thing for me in terms of coming into GIMP is to use brushes. So this allows you to put in textures, backgrounds. You can download brushes from the internet all over the place. Like you can add in fruit if you wanted a vegetable. So I'm going to select the pepper tool. We're going to hide Mr. Goose behind the pepper. You get the idea. Brushes are great in terms of just adding goofy things in randomly, or adding effects to photos. You can add in different colors, different things. This is really fun. Actually, one of the things I find really interesting with this is adding like stripes, but also adding in stars. There we go. Like we have splatters, and this is the wrong color. Go back in here. Choose a better color. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of add in like splatters. And if you do these light enough, they can look like stars on a dark background. There's a lot of different brushes as far as stock. So
yeah.
What's that?
I mean, GIMP. GIMP is amazing. But I think one of the things to say with GIMP always, and it's the same. It's the same with Photoshop. Photoshop is a tool that you could spend a long time in, and you will still only scratch the surface.
Yes.
And also, this is very, very different to the tools that we were showing earlier. The tools we were showing earlier are much more forgiving and much more designed for doing something where you don't have the artistic background, if that's the right way of saying it. I'm trying to think of the words that are saying it. Once you start going into this, that's it. But I will say, if you want to definitely stay safe inside of insanity, don't go and look at this Goose stuff.
Untitled Goose Game is awesome. Anyway, the major thing I really like about GIMP in terms of editing is, say you get like 15 down and you're just like, oh, I hate the way that looked. It was terrible. So you can grab this and actually jump to different portions, or for that matter, you can delete certain actions out. Usually, again, my system is running really slow right now, so it's not going to let me. But you can revert and delete and things like that. So this is really, really forgiving in terms of if you want to get in there and play with it and learn something, or learn Photoshop, because this is a really good tool as far as if you eventually will be making the jump to Photoshop, to kind of get the basics. Again, you have patterns, you have different types of characters that can fit in here. And we have other things you can add in, like your own files. You can tell it to open like your kind of all the files you'll be working with in this right-hand pane. So, and we're just going to reverse back to the base image. Anyway, so that's Honk, and that's GIMP. It's pretty straightforward, totally free, 25 years old. So let me get this out of the way because I got too much on this other screen. Thank you. Okay, so now you've got a certain amount of images for all this. Say you don't even want to mess with that. You just want photos. Pexels is probably my absolute favorite as far as stock photo repositories outside of Creative Commons. Like say, for whatever reason, I know I'm going to have a speaker during a particular week, and I'm just not going to have time to do a lot of credit slides like I'd normally do with Creative Commons, where I have like a little slide at the very end, but we're going to be crunched for time. I'll probably go to a stock photo, or I'm doing something where there's a video and I just need to kind of move quickly. I will go to stock photo repositories, although I do find Creative Commons photography to be more robust. Pexels is really good for royalty free. So, and stock. As you can see, I use it all over the place. Like our minister last week was talking about sitting on a stair in Paris, having some lemonade with a lovely person whom we met there, and I wound up using this photo. And I did give Rachel credit for that particular one, but it was really nice because I could just run out here and grab this literally while we were sitting in tech rehearsal, and he's like, why don't I do this? And I'm like, okay, we can do that. And I just changed the background on the fly. It was like boom, boom, boom. So it was super awesome. The other thing that's really nice is that they give you for free some really huge sizes. I don't know if you can see that. It's 4,204 versus 6,300 pixels. That's enormous. That's like print size. So for a stock photo repository to give you print size is for free. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Most of the time for Zoom, I'm going to stick around medium because it's the 1280. Most people are only pushing 720 unless you've got a higher license, in which case you can do the 1920 to give you a more true to the 1080. So that's that, and just click right out and find all kinds of other things. Again, I love these kinds of things. The other thing that's really nice is that if holidays are coming up, a lot of the times they'll kind of give you some suggestions. Now, obviously it's not right now, but you can see also who's gotten a lot of love for their photos. So you can kind of see some of the best creators out on Pexels, which is really nice for a stock site because it gives you an idea of who's just got the best. And then you can kind of browse through those, like say, oh, I know I'm going to be using a lot of flower photos. So, hey, because we did flower communion last week. So here's some really great flowers from one of the top creators. And it's really nice. Anyway, totally free. And mainly just give credit. That's the best thing. And give likes when you can. So there's that. So you've got photos. Let's see, you're a little out of, yeah, let's go on ahead and jump back to where I was. So now you've got your photos and everything else, and you're tackling the idea of going onto YouTube to have your stream. There's always that period of time before the stream goes live where you're like setting everything up, and maybe you've got a hold screen up, or you're showing a slide or your announcements or what have you. Dead air is the enemy on YouTube. So maybe you want to look at music, but you were here for the first show and you kind of went, oh, Creative Commons' music is great and I love it, but it's too confusing. Or for that matter, you went out and got some Creative Commons music, but maybe it wasn't attributed right, or for whatever reason, YouTube decided to be YouTube because YouTube. That's all I got to say about that. It's a terrible site. I love it, but I hate it. This is one of the things, this is a recent discovery for me. This is called Pretzel, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is still fairly new. It's in its infancy. These guys are just getting more information together. But what they do is they have a group that goes out to SoundCloud and they find music that is in Creative Commons or is flagged royalty free, and they bring it into this interface. And the other thing that's nice about this is you can automatically sort. So like stations, I just go straight here. So say we're going to want to listen to, it's an upbeat service, we're going to do some jazz. But since I know I'm going to do on YouTube, they have a YouTube safe mode, which automatically kicks anything out of the playlist as long as you select it first. Keep in mind, this is still fairly in its infancy. So you want to reload frequently. I mean, like technically I have an account and it should have my username here and it still says your name here. So it kind of tells you a lot of things. But like I said, the YouTube mode is fantastic because it automatically kicks anything out that has been proven to flag up on YouTube. So you should be fine there. This allows you to either toggle to allow mature or restrict mature. Obviously in a church stream, we're going to restrict mature. And you can do either instrumental or non-instrumental. I tend to leave lyrics in sometimes. So I will personally let that stream, but everybody's got their own jam. So again, you just go down here, we'll go to jazz. We already started playing that. We know that's probably not. And this is a nice little simple one.
Couldn't get any other way.
I don't know if you can hear that. I'm gonna hope so. Anyway, there's also a happy EDM. There's a lot of different genres. Now keep in mind, not all of the genres out there are currently represented because again, this is being curated by people. So there's not everything. There is quite a bit of ambient though, so which is going to be most of the time very useful in church services. So it's going to be a lot of nature sounds and things like that. Or if you're familiar with like Brian Eno has a ambient album called, I think it's Ambient 1 Music for Airports. I had to think about that. Anyway, so stuff like that. Another thing that's really nice is as you listen to stuff and you find stuff that you think is, sounds good, this is kind of nice. As you're randomly doing stuff, you just hit the like and it'll automatically give you a channel full of your liked tracks. Now, eventually the plan is for them to have paid accounts, which will allow you to create your own playlists. If you're not on a paid account, you don't have the playlist yet. If you have Spotify, you may not want this. Everybody's got their own thing because Spotify does have one of the next things I'm going to show you. So, but this is Pretzel. Again, it's pretzel.rocks. It's not pretzel.com. It's pretzel.rocks. And I highly, highly recommend it in terms of just kind of finding music that's going to work really well on YouTube and you're not going to get flagged up and they're not going to throw a hissy about because YouTube. I swear their DMCA.
Like this one, Crystal. Good job.
Yeah, their DMCA policy is just overkill on YouTube. So this is a real big deal. They're almost as bad as Twitch. Not quite, but they're almost as bad. Twitch is the worst. So if you ever go stream on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, this is a really good service, and I strongly recommend staying with the stations. Because if you jump to artists, which you can do, because they have a lot of different artists, but a lot of these you'll see it's like one song. So it's not really good yet. And albums, again, we may have one or two.
Artists are not getting paid for this yet, right?
Crystal, well, you have to keep.
Artists are not getting paid for this yet.
Okay, keep in mind that first of all, you notice there's no ads on this.
Right.
Okay. Everything right now is being farmed back into creating more content, which is basically paying people to go out and look on SoundCloud and find more stuff, or to iterate on the platform itself. So this is not a profit deal yet. It's very, very small. Again, very early stages. So you kind of get to give them some love as far as that goes. Labels is a little better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, as far as labels, I personally think this is a better choice if you're going to go into, like, if you locate some artists you really like and you go, well, let's take a look at this. Maybe Ajuna Beats has a lot of cool stuff. Nope. See, Ajuna Beats immediately flags up and says, nope. You notice that warning that came up? Stop. That's not going to do it. Let's see if I can find another one. Nope, that one flags. See, a lot of these are fine for YouTube. There we go. If it's not going to play on YouTube and you've selected a filter, or like say it's nothing but mature content, it will say couldn't find any songs to play. Try adjusting your filters. Choose another station or an artist. So this does help you, again, narrow it really quickly. It takes all of the thought out of it. It's super easy. The other one that's really easy to do is Stream Beats.
Question from Paul G. Can you download from Pretzel Wax or do you use it live?
Nope. You use it live. You're going to have a option for it open. Now that you can download, I think there's an app you can download it to your machine, but you still have to stream from their site. You're not keeping files locally. Again, if you want,
Interesting.
this is where I would say if you want to pay the artist, a lot of these artists will have stuff not just on SoundCloud, but they'll have it on Bandcamp. So say you go find a really awesome artist that has several tracks on Pretzel, please go find their Bandcamp. Just go to Bandcamp, type in their band name. You will probably find, go to Google, type in their band name. They might be on Amazon. They might just be on their record label site. So that's one of the best things you can do. Like I know I buy a lot of music because from Hospital Records, which does a lot of jungle and drum and bass and stuff like that. And I really love all that. And I know I can buy most of this stuff. Yeah, Urban Dawn does a remix of Come Together by the Beatles, which is amazing. Anyway, and it will freak people out. But yeah, you can go to their Bandcamps and what have you.
Yeah, and in those places, that's where you can download music to use in a service that's already put together, as opposed to having to do it live.
Yes.
If I show you another quick alternative, but very similar. So going back to Appsumo, you're gonna have to spotlight me. Is you've got spotlight for everyone. Right, there you go. So they actually have a number of options in there. We were talking about this earlier about the deals that's there. I've just typed in the word music. And a good example here is they've got Upbeat. So it's $59. This is unlimited use for Upbeat. And it gives you loads of tracks that you can use. And these are all YouTube compliant tracks. And you can pay for this one off. So if you haven't got the time to resource but you want to know this is going to work, that sometimes getting a lifetime access to Upbeat or some other similar system is worthwhile, and that's where Appsumo comes in. So I was looking there, they've got $59 for Upbeat, $59 for Music Sesame. I've not actually come across that one before. $200, as you can see, there's another one there. That's a 1-year deal. I've never really seen a 1-year deals on Appsumo, but there you go.
Cool, thank you. It's always good to put more on our radar as far as making easy music. This is probably my favorite though. This is actually one guy. It's called Stream Beats. And this was developed primarily for Twitch because Twitch's DMCA policies are stupid. And
what policies? What policies again?
DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. In other words, this is where the artists and the record labels and what have you, they sued the crap out of YouTube and YouTube had to settle for an obnoxious amount of money. And that's where the algorithms come in and go, you're playing copyrighted stuff. Even though half of the time with YouTube, it's not even like, we literally got a copyright flag on a piece of music one of our artists wrote because YouTube thought it was something else. It's ridiculous. I've gotten Facebook copyright flags on. Yeah, no, it's not even close to perfect.
I totally wanted to know what DMC was. You said that earlier too. I was like, I don't know what that stands for.
The Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is basically where they send you.
That's my job too here on this panel.
I appreciate that.
I ask the questions that nobody else is willing to ask. I'll ask that.
I love you. That's why I love you. Hi. I'm glad.
Keith Miller is asking for a definition of Twitch because that has been said.
Okay, I can give you that. Twitch is a site that was originally formed for gamers, but it is becoming a new community into itself. It is wonderful. Twitch.tv. And by wonderful, I mean wonderful. I spend obnoxious amounts of Twitch or time on Twitch. One of my favorite channels is right here. It's called Rooftop Revival. I think Mark's actually seen this one. I don't want to say I sent you that.
Yep.
This guy gets together with his girlfriend and they sit on the couch and they play. They live stream. It is amazing.
He was vicious and a killer, though youth of 24.
I think more is what is Twitch rather than what's your channels.
Oh, no. I'm trying to give him an idea of what's on it. It was formed primarily for gamers. And a lot of people who do actually do game. Let me see if I can find one. Just go out here. Esports. So we have the esports channels. And this is people playing League of Legends, Call of Duty, what have you. And you can watch them play video games. That's what it was originally started for. Musicians, dang, I totally just knocked my pens over. Okay. Wow. All right. But there's also music and everything else.
Normal people.
Yes.
Right.
Normal people.
Regular people put videos up.
No.
Anybody can put a video up, and anybody can say no. Not anybody.
It's a live platform. It's not. You don't put videos up.
It is a purely live stream platform. The thing that you saw was actually a cache of a live stream that happened about 3 hours ago because I was listening to it before this.
Okay.
Some of the Senate things last year when they were doing I can't remember what they were doing, but they a lot of those came up on this, and there were a lot of people watching it. Mm-hmm. Can anybody remember which the bits?
I wonder if anything happened on January 6th.
Well, I mean, Bernie Sanders did talks on Twitch. I can never remember. AOC has a Twitch channel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This guy is actually kind of joking around, but he's building a PC. He's got all kinds of goofy stuff right now. You get the idea. These people are doing weird stuff live. This is just chatting. Yeah, this is a VR chat. He's using a VR chat interface. He's actually looking down into. God, that's so surreal. Okay, I'm getting off this channel.
Yeah.
That is
the last
too
thing
surreal.
I would say. Okay, so
the other thing.
Okay, the two things I'll say really quickly on Twitch is, first of all, it is owned now by Amazon. And secondly, it is an area, if you're looking at where do I meet a certain demographic which aren't coming to see us on other platforms, the idea and thoughts of streaming your church onto Twitch could be quite an interesting idea. A number have tried it. I haven't seen anything negative about doing it, but I think it's going to be an interesting area.
Yep. There are churches who do.
So I tell you what.
Hang on, that's Church of Counter-Strike. That's not what I was going for. God, what was it? There was one church, and I can't remember the name of it, but they do an actual church stream. Yeah, here we go. St. Andrew's Episcopal Church streams on Twitch. Some of the things you can do with Twitch, you can have people follow you. If there are numbers of views they can share, you can monetize your stream so people could donate directly into Twitch, which is really nice if you want to pass the virtual collection plate. You can do all kinds of other crazy things. You can have your chat turned totally off. You can have their chat wide open. If you're going to run it wide open, though, I highly recommend setting up a bot. You can learn more about that.
Crystal, I bet this would be useful for DREs, people who work with young people in congregations. I bet you they could set up their own Twitch channels and things like that. With actually, that would be a good application.
You want to get down
specifically.
If you want to get down to it in terms of honey, here's what you do. UU has a church CHUURCH craft. It is church in Minecraft. If there is ever a platform that was meant for Twitch streaming, honey, that's it. And it is set up for online classes. It does have a cost. I want to say it's about $60, but having a Minecraft server is like $10 a month, $10 a month. If you've got a bunch of kids, you create a curated world, you put in like controls or things like that can lock the chat down. You've created a safe virtual place for your young person, your young congregants to get together and just be and hang out and mine and craft, as the name suggests, and build things and have a lot of fun. And they can fight and they can go dungeon crawlings and they can play, I think it's Spleef is the PvP arena set in Minecraft. It is ridiculous how awesome this can be. And for that matter, Leo, I want to say because I was thinking about you and I looked that up. And there's also a download of Herod's Temple in Jerusalem. So somebody actually did like a scale version of it, and the map is completely downloadable and can be plugged straight into a Minecraft server. So you could do a shul in Minecraft. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
You are. Yep.
Woohoo!
Okay.
I did some research.
Okay. I'm just conscious of time.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're going to cut a lot of this off. So, hey, that's good and bad. That means we have enough stuff for another one. Anyway, getting back to Stream Beats. I hope I touched on enough with Twitch there. If not, catch me in Discord. Stream Beats is put together by this guy named Harris Heller, who saw the need for the market. And basically what he did is he took about $50,000 of his own money. And he said, I'm going to go out to this other site, which I'm about to show you, which is Fiverr. If you are ever stressed out and you need production and you need it now and you are so overloaded and you just don't know what the heck you're going to do with yourself, go to Fiverr. You can find dang near anything on Fiverr, Fiverr.com. So like say you want to find music. I need some music. I need somebody who's going to do this actual hymn and I don't know how to do this music. So I want you to perform music. Actually, we're going to say piano. I want you to play some piano player. I don't know, cover, whatever. You get the idea. I will record a piano cover of your favorite song. I will record professional piano, blah, blah, blah. The big thing you want to do is look for level 2 sellers on here, because these are the people who are highly rated and have good, like this guy's got 221 5-star rating. He will record piano, keyboards, cover, backing track for you for $20. If you are crammed for time and you got to get this thing done and you need a particular song like from the hymnal or whatever, and your piano person is for whatever reason indisposed, boom, there it is. Go to Fiverr. You can find all kinds of stuff that you can also specify by whether they do it express, up to 3 days, etc. There's a lot of different ways to do that. Great. So that's pretty awesome.
Put that on the
anyway, going back to Stream Beats. Sorry, I'm segueing a little too much and we're on time. Stream Beats, put together by Harris Heller, took $50,000 of his own money and said, okay, I see a need for Twitch to have licensed totally open music. So he took 50 grand, went to Fiverr, hired a bunch of artists, mostly electronic because Twitch, and said, make me music. It went over so well. He is making $150,000 of passive income every month from nothing but Spotify streams and like Apple streams and what have you. And this is throwing all the warnings up like, hey, no, don't do that. Anyway, so this is like a house album and it's credited to Harris, but it's credited to Harris Heller in Spotify. So if you're looking for him in Spotify, don't look for Stream Beats, look for Harris Heller because Spotify. But yeah, this is like an ambient album, which is really fun. And or they're more electronic down. So again, this is all perfect for YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, if you want to decide to stream there. And it's just something you can have in the background, and it's fantastic. The other thing, a reason why I mentioned Stream Beats, aside from the fact that it's totally free for you, is that he's putting out about 2 albums per month, and that's just, he's adding, sometimes it's more. So there's at least 2 new albums every month. So that's just going to continue to build and build and build and build, and most of it is electronic. Not all of it, but most of it. So that's the thing. He's also started a new record called, or a new record label called Senpai Records. And if you know internet, you know what Senpai is. So nothing else said on that. But you get the idea. And I highly, highly recommend Stream Beats, Harris Heller. Good stuff. So I think we are about 3 minutes out. Were there any other questions on music? Again, Creative Commons has tons of music in it, but it is harder to find. So the easiest way for me to point out, I guess, because we have a couple of minutes. So yeah, we'll go on ahead out to SoundCloud. SoundCloud is another great place to find free music. I did touch on this a little bit last time. I'm going to go back into it. So can somebody give me the name of a popular hymn? I'll go with Amazing Grace.
Blue Boat Home.
Blue Boat Home.
Blue Boat Home. Okay. I don't know if I can find that because that song itself is copyrighted.
This Island Earth. No.
What Wonders Love?
Okay, there are people. Here we go. We have covers of it out here. Now, what we need to do is to go to tracks, and under filter results, now see where it says to listen to? This is fully copyrighted. You need to select down here, drop in, and to use commercially or to modify commercially, which are the Creative Commons licenses. So we're going to say that. Here we go. This is somebody named Blue Beats. So I'm going to say, no, there's no copies of that out there. At least not in Creative Commons, which doesn't surprise me because I want to say we tried to get that song too. And we wound up paying for it. So, but there are covers of it out there. Yeah, there are covers of it out there. And you can come out here and listen to them. You might even be able to download some of these.
Cardinals Unitarian right there.
Yep.
Community Church Michigan did a cover. Yep, that's cool.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I was, if you notice, if you click into it, they don't have anything where you can download it. Anyway, I'm going to kill this because this is a copyrighted song and we will get killed. So, but you get the idea. It is out there. So hopefully that's under fair use. We're discussing the service. And again, the artist is fantastic. Go to his site. You can license it directly from him. We did so. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. If anybody does, please do. And I think at that point we are at 8:30, so that's good for now. We're going to open this up for questions.
I've actually got one.
Sure.
So we often talk about, I've got two actually. We often talk about the Stream Deck as a tool to control different functions in
Marty, you know your picture's not on.
Oh, it's not on. What do you know? Okay. Oh, right.
But he's a very cool hubcap.
It's the OBS logo.
All right, let me get back to. Thank you very much for that.
Before you get to your question, there's just one other. I think there's just a bit quick thing that I wanted to cover that that I think is key, which is about video side. Can I cover this now, Crystal?
Yeah.
I was going to put that into another show because we really had to skip a lot of stuff because we ran too hot.
I just want to cover. I'll be super fast because I can't actually demo it anyway. That was really because anyway, which is if you're starting to do videos, there's two things that you want to, and this is always the friend that you have if you are on a Mac is iMovie. If you're a Mac-based person, iMovie does enough to do up to about a 5 to 10 minute video you can do in iMovie. If you want to go further than that, DaVinci Resolve which is the Blackmagic software, is free, and it has a steep learning curve. But if you're looking for videos and you want to go somewhere and you want somebody to do something, DaVinci Resolve that is probably the best one to start learning on. That was it. I said 10 seconds, and now we have a picture of Marty back.
Yay! Hello, Marty.
Hey. So back to Stream Deck, we often talk about that as a tool to automate and program, functions in hardware and software. Well, Stream Deck just came out with a brand new firmware update and a software update that has added creative things. So I'm going to try and share this screen.
While Marty's doing that, I want to mention, by zooming out a little bit, the concept for today's program was streaming on a shoestring was the phrase that I used. And we wanted to introduce everybody to lower budget options for doing all kinds of things with your church services. All of the photographic and video production stuff that was just shown to you, but also things like Reaper and free or inexpensive software packages that do a whole variety of things. Audacity, all of those kinds of things. So this is basically one of the first shows of what might be a series of shoestring budget streaming solutions for churches. So I just wanted to tuck that in there.
I was actually going to say, I'd like to take it further than just streaming. I think churches could benefit from a lot of
absolutely
free or low cost. We can do project management. We can do coordination, because I know for a fact half the time we're having problems getting information from team to team. So doing stuff like that to cut out the middlemen and get everybody on the same page, especially with production, especially with live streaming, super important. So yeah, we'll be doing hopefully more.
All right. Well, can you all see the Stream Deck screen?
Yep.
Got it.
Okay, great. So, this is what the Stream Deck screen looks like when you set it up for programming. And on the right, these are all applications that I have loaded in from a library of applications. So here's my OBS stuff. There's several OBS libraries that you can choose from to program buttons like this. So these will change screens if I press on them. But they've added some new things like the soundboard, where, and I'm going to change this screen here. To a different one. All right, so this is what they call the store, where you can discover all kinds of different things that you can load onto your Stream Deck, including all of these plugins for different applications that we've been talking about. There's a way to control Twitch, and a couple of them, and Spotify, and you can put a clock on a button. You can control Streamlabs, and there's OBS, and there's several other things.
When I'm doing music editing, I actually have a live VU meter sitting on one of my buttons.
Yep, there are view meters. Here's a control for VLC. There's a control section for Zoom. Lots of different. This is what we have been using Stream Deck for. And they're categorized, so you can filter them out here. And here's a whole new library. Each of these are libraries of icons that you can load in. So, we can look at, let's see if we can find one that's got some samples on it. Yep, all kinds of different icons that you can load in.
That's my favorite one, Valhalla. Valhalla has a great reverb. That's my favorite.
Oh, cool. And you can load an icon under any button, regardless of what it's actually for. So if there's a button that you like, you can put it under any button. But here's something interesting: music. So we can look at all these different genres of music tracks that are free to use, royalty free. They're not licensed. all these things, and they're actually quite good. They're music bed tracks that you can use under slides, or if you want to write a song and you like this melody, you know, you could use that. Here's something that's a little funkier. Inspiring soft backgrounds. And you can change the tempo and slow it down.
That's cool. Your volume went down, or did mine?
Yes. No, it was his.
Is it me? It's his, yeah. We lost volume on you, Marty.
I love that instead of changing, you can actually dial in the duration of it to exactly what you need. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, to make it exactly what you need, right? If you have like 5 slides that are, you know, a minute 20 seconds, you can put that in. That's awesome.
Look at this. You can sort by mood, which is really cool. So these are music tracks that you can use, and you know, when you load one of these tracks onto a Stream Deck button, so you can play it at the push of a button. You can download it as well and use it in any other application. If you want to put it into a PowerPoint or use it in a music production, you get the download of the song, and you can load the song to play with the push of a Stream Deck button too. So here's also sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's shining? What is that? I didn't hear it.
I'm wondering if there's any reason.
Like a triangle button, triangle ring.
It didn't sound like it.
I don't think we're getting his sound.
You're not. All right, let me.
Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're hearing the stuff from your thing, Marty.
Yeah, I think we're hearing it from your speakers.
Oh, there you go. No, I heard the camera picture.
Yeah.
I heard the camera picture. Sounds like the click of a camera.
Okay.
There we go.
There you go. Whip whoosh.
So you get all the stuff that you can load onto a Stream Deck. So if you're doing something, you know, if you want to get creative with your events,
excuse me,
you can load them on. And so this is new on Stream Deck. The other thing that I wanted to mention is a little less creative, but also worth noting is that NDI, which we talk about as a way to transport audio and video over the network between computers and such, between cameras and software switchers and between computers, they're getting a brand new update that's going to bring on some really nice new features as well, including the ability to transport audio and video over the internet right into your computer, which is really, really cool. So stay tuned for that. It hasn't been, they've announced it, they haven't released it yet, but you can find some information on it online.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. That was a fabulous, fabulous presentation. Thank you so much, Crystal and Leo, for putting that together. It was fascinating. And, you know, it's really cool that, you know, there's all this content and all this sharing of creative material that's out there that's now available for us to use really easily. It's easy to access, it's easy to find, and it can make life so much easier when you're putting together services every single week. And, you know, if you're going on vacation, you may need to put like 2 or 3 services together in short order and have them in the can and ready to go. You can also take some of these things and pre-produce them into packages that you can use later, right? To you know, do some of these in advance, have them ready to go for, you know, emergencies and for different kinds of events that you anticipate might happen in the future, but just not now. So very, very cool. Thank you so much. I think that was a wonderful, wonderful show. So that's it. I want to thank our panelists and our guests and you for such a wonderful conversation. Really hope that you found our time together enjoyable, informative, enlightening, enriching, energizing, motivating, all that good stuff. Watch the Discord, participate, upcoming show agendas, past show recordings. Remember, the latest 3 shows are reserved for Discord members to find before we put it up on YouTube for public consumption. So this show will be up soon. And last week's show hasn't been posted yet. I'm working on that one as well. I'm a little bit behind there. So, so a lot of this, that we're doing here, all of this production work is new ground, and we haven't done it before, and we're figuring it out together. So I think that's a great thing. Stick around. We're going to go into the post show and we can have a conversation. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.